Currently, the CDC recommends that all healthy children be vaccinated against 14 different diseases by the age of 2. These vaccines are 90 to 99% effective. In addition, the CDC collected data from 1994 all the way to 2014, and they found that as a result of vaccines, 732,000 children were saved from death, and 322 million cases of childhood illness were prevented. In spite of these encouraging statistics, parents still are choosing not to vaccinate their children. Some major topics in this debate are like autism, which I'm not even going to discuss that topic because it's been debunked on so many levels. There's no merit to that topic whatsoever. I will discuss the safety of the ingredients that are included in some of these vaccines. The 3 ingredients that have the most concern are formaldehyde, aluminum, and mercury. These substances can be harmful to your health if they're in large enough doses. The amount that's used in vaccines are very safe for human consumption. Your child will consume more aluminum from breast milk and formula than they will when they are being vaccinated. Your child will be exposed to more bacteria, viruses, toxins, and other unsafe elements from everyday play than they will be from being vaccinated. And finally, the mercury levels in vaccines that are intended for children under 6 have either been removed completely or reduced to trace amounts. The only vaccine that has a notable amount of mercury is the inactivated influenza virus. So the ingredients in the vaccines do not pose a threat to your health. Another topic that is part of the debate over vaccination is people feel like they should have the right to choose whether to accept or not accept vaccines for themselves and for their children. They feel that if the government successfully forces them to accept vaccines for them and their children, that they're going to go on to force other medical procedures and medications onto them that they do not wish to accept. I don't agree with this because they have what they call informed consent, which means that you sign a document that you know what's going on, you agree with what's going on, and you know your options. If that was the government's intent to control people, there would be no such document. I think it's totally baseless and it's irrelevant. And then, just as irrelevant is religion. People say, well, if you force me to take these vaccines for myself and for my child, you're infringing on my right to religion. We're talking about your child, okay? Vaccines begin at a very early age. Most children at that age do not have a religion. They don't know what religion is. And to me, it's a very poor excuse to deny your child a life-saving vaccines. You may raise your child as a Catholic, and they may decide to become a Buddhist. So I don't think that religion should be a relevant debate in this topic. It's just not. And then there's the misguided belief that a lot of these diseases are no longer a threat. They're no longer around. And the only disease that we have officially eradicated and we no longer vaccinate our children for is smallpox. The last known case of smallpox was in the United States in 1948. The last known case worldwide was in 1977 in Somalia. We are pretty close to eradicating polio. We have almost wiped out the polio that causes paralysis and death. However, there's 2 other forms of the virus that are not as dangerous as the one that causes paralysis and death. In 1988, UNICEF took up data in regards to polio cases around the world, and there was 350,000 cases of polio worldwide. They again took up data in 2014 and they found only 500 cases of polio, and it was in 3 countries, Afghanistan, Nigeria, and Pakistan. So that's a really big improvement from 1988. However, the dangers of believing that just because a disease is not in your area is no longer a threat is like this. Like for instance with polio. A person can be infected with polio and not show any symptoms for several years. And during that time, they can infect anybody they come in contact with unknowingly. The scary thing about this is, let's say John Doe carries the virus that's not as dangerous as the one that causes paralysis and death. And let's say he infects Jane over here. That virus has the potential to mutate once it hits Jane's body into the virus that causes paralysis and death. So it's not a good idea to stop vaccinating our children, because all it would take would be a visitor from Pakistan that carries polio that has no idea they're infected, and they go on to infect other people. Also, additional evidence that supports that we should continue with vaccinations has been the recent outbreaks of measles and pertussis. If we didn't need the vaccines, we wouldn't be having the outbreaks. We need to be responsible. We need to protect our children. We need to do our jobs. Okay? If we work together as a human race and we vaccinate our children and ourselves, and we make vaccines accessible to people that are having a hard time assessing them, I could see a future on planet Earth with the reduction of vaccines, or even possibly the elimination of vaccines. I can see a disease-free world in our future if we all work together. Can you?